let's just create a new file to do this PDO stuff. PDO, right? So the new file is here as localhost. PDO.php. So nothing right now. So the first thing we need to do is to create the database adapter. So that's db equal p new PDO and DNS here. So that's so if you don't know what this, just you don't need to remember everything. So you just need to copy paste and just understand what's this mean. That's fine. So here this is a DNS. So no, actually you can just do something like this. So localhost database name, that's just a database name. So that's just we510 root and username, so that's your username, and password, that's your password, and option just ignore it. We don't need anything here. So just one line, we create a new database adapters. Now you can manipulate the database just from use the database adapter. So for the first thing, so you need to, so we can fetch something from the database. So how we can do this? So if you don't remember, that's fine. So you don't need to remember anything. So you just need to know what you are doing, what you are going to do. So the first thing for example, we want to get those categories out from the database and display on our web page. So if you don't know, just search for it and you will see that here select. What we need to do is go to select something from the database. So then you can just Google PDO select, and then you'll get to here, and you will see this one. Let's see. So we just copy and paste. So here, this is DB adapter, and this is called a prepare. So you prepare, you just first create this select query SQL. If you don't if you don't know how to write SQL statement, then go into your PHPMyAdmin, and here browse, then it will run. That's here, select. So you can just copy and paste, and here select from table. That's a table name. So we just copy here. So select this means select everything. Select all the columns. So 3 columns. So from category ordered by name. So ascend that. So because there is no where part, that's it. So you prepare and you execute, then count, fetch, and that's it. So column. So we can just print R. So that's it. So you see we have those three records here: array ID, name, position, ID, name, position, ID, name, position. So there is nothing like mapping anything, database mapping, RMA, nothing like that. So you can just directly use the adapter to get data out of database, and or you can save it. So the same thing from here. So our category, our index. Just don't just dig too much into the code. You need to know what we are doing on each page. So then you will understand the code. One crude. So this page, right? This page. So we can just delete all those things. We don't need to those things. We just you can just ignore this one. You comment out, and we have the DB adapter, right? DB adapter, we already have the DB adapter in this bootstrap file, DB adapter. So you can just use the DB adapter here. Do the same thing and copy from here. PDO. Do the same thing here. Well, so we have the rows as array, and here rows equal then that's the same. So you can just use the same. So cat. Right now, so here you can fetch object. So that's the same, you see. Why the reason why we have all those model DB, those kind of things, we just create extra layer, we just create extra database layer and model layer. So that's make our application like multiple layers, and so we don't need. For now, we just we have two layers. Like we have a controller, we have a view. Right now, you see, you got it. We only have two layers here. That's like we have only two files in this index file and this view layer, this view file. So why we just have those? You can also have all those things. You don't need to have this view. You don't need to have those view stuff. You don't have to have those things. You don't have to. You can just comment out this. And you add everything. You add everything here. You do everything from here. That's the same. That's still fine too. But now we just need to So now we just remove those header and footer. Let's see if we can. Remove this header footer because there is something like this else. So you can just do everything from here. Cast. See? Yeah, that's the same, right? The only thing is because we didn't include the header, so we don't have the CSS file applied. But you can still know that we have the function here. So that's everything in one file, right? So that's the original, that's the old style, very old way. Everything, we put everything on one file. We put the PHP file at the top and the HTML file in the bottom. But the problem is that, so we need to those things, mix everything in a big file and do the same thing for a lot of files. That just make it very hard to read and very hard to maintain and hard to like do some update. So that's why we just put different thing into different layer. That's we call it MVC. So we have the controller, this file, just a simple controller to so we have the simple controller to analyze the logic. So we get the request from the client and we see what we need to do, what do we need to go to the database and get some data, or do we need to do something? Then we get the response and we send the response to the view layer. So that's so we just like this. We analyze and we get the data from the database from the model layer. So that's this layer. So that's what we did. That's this one. Those two. So this we call this model. So this model layer we go to the model layer to get the data. But now we just put the model layer here, and then we send the data to the view layer, and in the view layer here it's just to output, do the render stuff. Nothing logical, so it's just, you see it's all echo, loop, echo, print out, do those things. So this is a PDO DB adapter way. But why our model looks something, it looks a little bit complicated. It looks a little bit complicated because that we just made it more abstract. So we have actually we have four. Now we have actually 4 layers. You will see. Do you have Mac? Have this. So So you first get to the controller, right? So that's a simple PHP file, so the index file. And index file, then you analyze what you need to do. So you go to then you need to get the category. all the categories list out. So you go to the category, you go to the model layer, controller, and then you go to the model layer to fetch data. For our model, is just objects, categories, and post. So that's object. It's for here we have two, the category table, right? Category table, that's just a model object. So from the object, from the model, we use the DB adapter and to communicate with database. So, and then we send back the data, right? So it's like this, and then send back to view, and then send back to the client. So it's the flow is like this. So the client sends request to the controller, right? And the controller go to model to get data, but model need to communicate with database. That's so we use the adapter to communicate, and then get back data and send out. It's like this. So we can read the code how we accomplish those steps. So that's here. This is the controller, and then we go to the table, category table, to ask the table to fetch all those data. So then here, so we use the DB adapter, right? This select, you see, that's so this is a SQL. This is a SQL. So we use the adapter. So that's a PDO. Fetch all. Where is the fetch one? Fetch all. Here, yeah, here. So PDO fetch all. So that's what we have here. The same thing here. We just make it more extra layers. And you see, that's the same. So you select and PDO fetch all, and you do a loop, and then you assign the raw data to a raw object. Then you return the readout.
So this is the super class.
Yeah, that's an abstract class. So that's an abstract. So for each table, like this category table, you can this. So this category table, it's extend from the abstract. So
it has some its function. The function is default function.
Yeah, function is the methods are all the default methods. The only difference for each table class is that they have a different name. So the table is different. So the name, this name is different. Table name, that's a table name for the database. So it's here, categories, posts, that's here, that's this.
They are following some convention, right?
Nothing. You can add whatever. That's the database name. That's the database name. That's what you defined here. So if if the database name here is like so you change to something else, blah 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 blah. So you just add the name here. That's it. So that's the database name. So that's used here, you know. That's here. So when you build the select, for example, here select. Well, we just go from here. So here the select method, it's select everything from this name. So that's the same as here, right? Select from table name. The only thing is that we're not hard code the table name here. We just add it as a object parameter property. So we fetch all. So this is select statement that's just from the PDO. And the only thing we add here is this. So here this we add one more layer, another layer here. This layer is for the record for each individual category or each individual post. So that's for each doe, right? So each doe, you can just return. You can just return the here. You can just return from here. That's fine. Return from here. Then what you just need to do is just change. It's just this is still working. I think it's still working. So if we change here to object, this is still working. You see, why? The reason why we add one more layer here. We add one more layer here, right? So because we treat, because that's a OOP what we teaching this class. We treat those record, each post or each category as an object. Not if we just return from here. If we just return from here, from here, if we just return from here, so that's just some data from database. It's not our object. No. But we want return as our object, as our post, and for here as our category object. So we can have some because for each object they can have some property, they can have some method. So for here, for example, here the category, for the category object, we have a get or post method. So we can ask the category to return all the posts under that category. So that's why. So we instead of return those data directly from database, we add those data, those data to our object here. That's here, object. So we create the raw object from here, either clone or have a new object, raw object. Then we assign the data from database to our object and then return that object. Understand?
So we have, for example, want to save something. We have a form, and each field has a field has an ID, and we have object, the properties of object, and we have the field of the table. So the three of them should be same.
Yeah, they are matching from each other. That's from here. We assign. So we assign that, for example, if you want to save something, that's the same. So that's what we have here. Category post. So we create a new category object. So that's a object from our application. Then we assign the data. The data is from the phone, right? We assign the data from the phone, from what was submitted from the user into our object. That's what we have. Set data or the assigned data. Either way, set data. That's fine. So we just have this method to assign something. Then then we call then we have this save method. So if we call the save method, then we just save this into our database. So so that's method we created. So we use this method to mapping our object to the database record. So you see, get table update, get table insert.
If the form is lack of several fields, or it
so that's here normally you need to validate the value, validate the input from the user. So you need to validate if that's very important here, but here we just ignore this because we just want to demonstrate. For the real project, you need to validate any data submit from the user. So to check if the data is correct or if there's anything wrong with the data. So it's not just simple set everything from the user to our and save into our database. So you need to have validation created. So this is the first one is list. For the edit, that's the same. So we have this. All right. So for edit, so that's the same. So we call this update method here. And for insert, we actually just call this insert method here. All right, let's just go ahead and go back here. Let's disable those error message. Init so for those PHP function, as I said, you don't need to remember everything. So if you can, that would be good. That would be great. If you can't, just you just need to know what's the keyword for search. Display error 0. So this will just hide all those errors. All right, for for edit, first let's just go it simply go it from the very basic way. So here you have the URL we510 crude category edit.php. So this URL is, so when you click this URL, the browser sends a request to a server called localhost, right? Which is our own localhost, and the localhost, the Apache server on the localhost, then trying to find the file, find the request on the server. So it will just go into our database root on the root. So that's here, site. That's this one, W510. That's this W150. And CRUD, that's this CRUD. And category edit, that's our category edit file. So that's it. And there is a question mark and ID equal to. You see this a lot. Like for example, we have another A thing, A equal B, and C equal D. So you can have a lot and F equal E equal F. So you can have, it's not unlimited. There is a maximum length for this URL. So that's set by the browser. So this is a way to pass the parables to between different page. And from PHP, we can get those value from the global parameter that's called get. So this is a PHP preset parameter, variable. So if you dump this get, you will see those 4 value we have. It's ID equal to A, B, C, D, E, F. See? You see it? ID to A, B. That's hard to read. ID to. So if you don't understand what's this, so that's quite basic. So this is a PHP array. Do you need me to explain what's PHP array? You know, right? How about you?
Maybe you can explain.
So in PHP, array is a primary type, variable type. So it's you can imagine, you can think as a collection in Java. So it's a collection of data saved to one variable. So array equal. So how to define an array? So it's like this. It's just array like this. So you can initialize array variable like this. Or you can just, for PHP, you can just use the variable before defining. You don't need to define. You can just create at something like this: A, B, C, D. So you can just create this something like this. So then you save those collection of data into one array, and then you can use the array the access to the value like something like this. So you can do echo array 0. So the index is from 0. So this will be A. And if you want to get C, it's echo array 3. There are 2. So it's something like this. Another commonly used method is function is, so you want to loop this array. So we can use we can use for each array as key value. So for an array, it's always a key value pair. Even though here you didn't see the key, so it's by default it's 0. So those two are equal. One is something like this. So you can for each, and you can dump key value. Where is it? It's here. So so the key is 0, and the value is A, and 1, the value is B. So this is an array. So you can also do something like this. You can add the value into array from the initialization, or you can just add array element, something like this. Array f. So then we have those EF here. So this is for the default array, and there is a special type array called associate array. So what's associate array? So that's for the key. By default, the key is just like some int 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you can have a string as a key. So you can do something like this: associate array equal. So that's what we have here. Here A, B, C, D. So you see the key become A and C now are the keys. It's instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we loop here, you will see key is A and value is B, key is C and value is D. So that's a very easy way for you to use. It's very loose, so it's not not any restriction here. So you can very flexible to use. So the get is the associated array, right? And then we get the, okay, let's go back here. So we get the ID, the category ID from the URL from the get, and then we check if the ID is exact. If there's no ID provided, then we just style it, and then we create a new category table object, and we run the get by ID method. That means this method fetch low. That's this method get fetch, and so the same thing. You don't need to. You don't need, if you think this is too abstract, then you can just do it from here. You can just select the data from here. The same thing as what we did. So you can do the same thing what we have in text. Let's just copy from here. So it's here. We select everything from categories, and where ID equal ID, and we bind the value ID is the cat ID. Then we execute, and then we fetch. Then we fetch. For here, we just need the first row, so then we just fetch the cat equal object. That's it. That's still, this is still work. From category ID applied. Two is not correct. We change the name. Let's just change. So you see, this is still the same, but we prefer from here. We just prefer from here. So this is, you can treat this as a table, and you get you. So those methods are just created by yourself. So it's just for you, make it simple to use. So just make it simple for you to use. So this will just return. So let's see what's this category. So this is a model category object. So that's a row class, right? That's here. That's a row class. That's this one. that's one of this. Okay, do you understand those two lines? How does this? Do you understand? So why should we have those two lines here?
To fetch the data.
Yeah, that's correct. So we need to fetch the data. So we need to where can we fetch the data? That's from the category table, right? So we need to have the category table. Because the data is in the table. So you can treat this category table as a mapping of the database table in our database. Because as you see, the model and the database DB, actually they are mapping each other. That's what we have. We just create those kind of mapping by ourselves. Now this is understandable, right? How about you? Okay. That's good.
It's a little different from Java. Java have a class for objects, but here I think it just combines the database table with the class, so they are just one class.
Actually, they are two. They're two. They're different.
But we don't see the getter setter of the class.
The getter setter. Yeah, that's here. We just that's here. So you see, that's here. The row. We have the getter setter. That's a super class we have here. As a PHP, we just define from here. This is a getter, and this is a setter. So I just make it the lazy way, so you don't have to create the for example here you get ID and set ID, get name, set name. Normally you need to do that, but just make it very lazy way. So we just use the PHP superclass to super method to help us to set the data. So that's here. So here is, you see when you call this name, normally you should do something get name, right? And then return the name, and you need have a protected name, something like this, and protected something like this, right? So, but here we just do it too lazy, and name, and it will just to see if our category object have a name property. It should be, right? It should be have a name property. So, but here we didn't define this name property, so we just use a default mapping between our database and to our object. So it's here, get and get the from the data method, from the data property. So where does this data come from? That's from this. That's from here. So when we get the database from when we get the data from our database, it's from here. We fetch the raw data here. We assign the data to our object, our category object. You understand here? Here is a little bit confused. So this data, this is the raw data from the database. So when you fetch data from database, so for example here, we fetch the data with the ID number 2. So it will you'll get a data. It will just get the raw data from the database, and then we use this raw data to and we create a category object. So here you see this object, var dump. Yes. This raw object, that's a category model. That's a model category. So this is a result object, and then we assign the data from our database to the category raw object.
You are using reflection, right?
Yeah. So that's here. So that's here. So I told you the PHP ORM. There are 2 types of ORM. This one, I asked you guys to read. I'm not sure if you guys really read this article.
This place it is using active record.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we are using active record. And there is a data mapping. That's so we get the data, we assign the data to our object. So that's this one. That's this here. That's here. Assign with the assign. That's here. Assign data and the database table and the database data. This data. So we have the data. So you can write down here. Write down. So you see the data have those ID, name, position. So now we can because we have this assigned it to our row class. So now we can just use the name here because the name is return. So that's here. So the get from this data property. So this data property holds the data from our database actually, right? So that's this one. That's this data property. Holds the data from database.
So it is created when in the construct.
Yeah. So it's created from here. No, this is not created. This is from here, from here. We assign the data from database to the row object. Then we return. So it's here. That's here. Yeah, here is kind of confused here. So it's here. We get. So we the category table. So we first it's come from the table. So we use the table to fetch data from database. So we get ID. Here we fetch all, and fetch all. Then here we get the raw data. We get the data from database. That's the database. That's the data from database, right? This row. And then instead of return, normally we just return the raw data, right, from the database. But actually here we will return an object. We return the category of object. You know, we use the data to create a row object. So that's from here. That's here. That's what we were. So the data. So now the category, this one is not the raw data from database, not the original data from database, but it's an object. It's this object. It's this object. All right. And then we can use this object to do a lot of things. Why we have this object? That's because we can do we can do extra things from here. So yeah, we can use those kind of C. If you just return the data from database, you will not have this. You cannot have this kind of method. You cannot have those things. Also, you need to have a. So you need to think everything as object in this kind of application. The table is the object and the row is the object. Understand? Okay. All right, we only have like 30 minutes left. All right, let's just continue with this one. All right. Then we have some error. So if you have some error, then you turn on here. Let PHP to display the error for you. Continue, you get this one. Go to a member function update on long object. So now 78, and here you have. So let's just go back to 78 is get table. return nothing. Let's get table. So that's for each row. Each row there is a table. So this table. That's from here. That's here. Category. The problem is here, right? The problem is here. So for the category, we have a different constructor than its parent. So we need to have this, add this back to our category. Do something like this, and as we learned from the OP class, we parent constructor. We first run the first parent constructor. So it's something like this. Okay. Now it's correct. Edit technologies. Put this 3, 4, 4. Now it's correct. All right. So headline. All right. Let's go back to here. So we have 3 pages left, right? First is we have actually 4 pages. We need to have a add post function, and we need to have a edit post function. We need view post, and we need delete function. All right, let's just do it one by one. So the post is here. So first we need to add a link to add a link. So for a link, this is HTML code. If you don't know HTML, then just come to me, okay? Add a post, add new post. So here, echo base URL and post add the PHP and category ID equal echo is cat ID. So now we have the link here, right? So you see here, we have the link here. Now we have an extra slash, and now we need to create a new page called post add .php. So you just need copy from here, and change to post add, right? And post at. So we need this first the same thing from here. Categories of posts. So we need to have this you don't need to, actually we don't, and we can have this one. All right. So we just do something. We just copy. Why? Okay. So why we need to copy those? Why we need to copy those sections here from the post? Because we need to get the category information the same as this page, right? And view cat and new cat and equal cat, and render we change to post at, and then we create a post at page. No, not folder, it's just a page. At PHP, that's fine, PHP. At, so here we need to copy the HTML from so we copy the HTML from here. So we copy the HTML from here. So how you can copy it? Inspect element and copy everything from here. Copy and paste. And delete the container, this one. Now replace the static info to your own to PHP. So this is this cat name, right? And add, and title, author, category, status, content. So let's see. Here. Okay. So if you see something wrong, you need to know how to debug. Here, if you see here, wrong category ID supplied, then you need to go back. Where does this message come from? So it's here. It's category ID. Why category ID is not there? Because we already have a category ID here, right? You'll see the name is different because you copy from the other page. Then you fix it. Right, you fix it. And here, the same thing, we forgot to add the header and footer. So just copy. Copy. You see it's wrong encode. If you see something like this, something strange here, that's an encode problem. Because this use something where to encode. Or you can do something like this. If there's something wrong here, project property, and here the text file encoding. Change to, let's see, force to UTF-8. Apply. Okay. So it's turned to something strange because this browser is using UTF-8. So you just need to change to something else. One more here. Echo got. Right. So the page is correct. Now we need to deal with this form. So this is a HTML form. So you need to first you need to know HTML form. What's an HTML form? So this is just go to it. If you don't know what's a form, right? Then you go to W3C school and HTML, right? Here to see what's your form. Here, HTML forms. All right. HTML forms are used to connect user input. That's very simple explanation. So if you want a user to submit something to the server, then something like this, you need to have a form. So it's a form. So for a form, there are several parameters. The first one is called method. So there are two kinds of methods. Post. One is post and one is get. So I'll show you the difference between post and get. Post. And another one is called action. So this is a destination where you want the data to be submitted. So for here, for example, we add to PHP echo base URL post data submit post. This is where this okay, those two are enough. Form. And for the form, there is an open tag and there is a close tag. So the end open tag should default any of those text input or the text error or those, and the end tag need to be after everything. So that means all those method field, all those method fields should be in the form tag, So you see, open and close, and so the action that's so if you click submit, it will go to this page. That's the action we set. If you leave the action as empty, that means the action is this page its own. So it will just refresh the page. Not just refresh, just submit the data to this page. So it's still just submit the data to this page. All right, form, and here the input. This is called an input, and the type for input there are several types. So this one, the type is called text. So this is a normal text input, and you have a parameter called name. That's a input name. So we have this as title, and this name as author, and category. Actually, we don't need these fields here because we already have the category. So let's just delete this one. And status, this is a select, and it's the same thing. We have the name for the status, and for each option there is a value variable. So that means for published, we have echo echo here the post is published. We just use this one, echo model post. Published, and this value equal echo model post. This is still pending and pending, and we delete this and this selection. And content, this is another input type called text error. On the same thing, we need to have a name. This is for the content. And for submit, you can still have a name. So the name will that's fine. The name is not important for submit, but you can have a value here. Go. See, the value will be here, the text. And so here, if we can create this file. We can create this file. We can create this file. We can then we create this file. Okay. Okay, let's write down. So if you use the post method, all the data posted, submitted, it's in this post global variable. That's similar to the get one. So if we title test authored status published, that's fine. Content test content test content. Let's go. So we have all this value here. The title. So this is the so this is this HTML field's name, title, author, status, content, and submit. So that's what we have here: title, author, status, content, and submit. So let's see the difference between post and get. So if you want, if here the action, the method, if we change the method to get, let's see what we have. We can have test go. say everything is going to, it's here. It's on the URL. And the value, first, obviously it's in in this is in this get variable. See. So what time? So in which case we need to use post, and in which case we need to use get. Normally, if user just submit something, you save something into your database, those things just use post. Or if you have a big data for user to input, you need post. Because for get, the file, the content is going to be in the URL, and this is very limited. The length is limited. If you have a long page, you cannot use get to submit. So normally, if you do not have any special requirement, use post. In which case you need to use get when you Google. And Google, when you Google how to cook pasta, see how to cook pasta. That's here. So why it use get? Because you can copy paste. You can copy paste this page to share this page to other people. If you use post, you cannot just copy this page to add anywhere else. So in some case like this, you need get, you use get. Otherwise, use post. So we use post here for sure. We need to use post. By the way, HTML is case insensitive, so you can just post whatever. It's not case sensitive. It's insensitive. Post. All right, let's go back and refresh. Test, submit. All right. Here there is another problem. Is that you see there is title, author, status, content, submit, but there's no category info. The category ID didn't pass to our new page. So in order to pass the category info, the category ID here, we use something called input hide type equal hidden. Use something like called hidden fields. So this is traditionally we pass those value, but the problem is that anybody can change the HTML code. So you need to validate the value in your server side. Name cat ID value equal this cat ID. So go. So this is category ID. It's here 3. So why I said you need to be careful to use this is here. So people can change here. You can just change to 5 and it goes submit. It's 5. So you need to validate the value. Or you can, if you don't want people to change the ID, you can encode the value to something strange they cannot change. So you can just encode the code and encode this ID and then decode from here. But we will not cover that at this moment. So we have the we have the data, the same thing. So we just copy from here, data. So you can just copy from here, now it's post, right? Post, new model, post, and post, set data, save data. So as you said, how you can get this data correct? So you need, it's something like this. So normally you are not going to just put the data into a set to our data. So normally it's do something like this: post data equal array, and post data just do it one by one. Category ID. So that there will be something, but so it will be something like this. If there will be some validation function. If this is valid, something like this is if valid, and you assign it. If not valid, just show as exception, then just let it go. So you need to validate them one by one, the fields one by one. But here we don't just do just. That's another thing. And post data, title, content, author, status equal data, title, post data, content equal data, content, post data, author equal data, author, post data, status, data, status, post data, time create equal time. Right. So post data save, and we go back to posts and cat ID cat equal data. So it should be correct. Let's go back. It's coming to 5. Actually, it's 3. So we have this one, and let's try again. Add test test test. Go. No, it's not saved, right? It's not saved. So we'll see what's the problem. So post saves set data. Let's see what we have. So if you see something not correct, so this is a way for you to debug. So you first check if the data is correct. The status is none. This is a problem. What we have here. Status. There's a typo. There's a typo for the
index.
For this name. Alright, and now it should be correct. So that's one upgrade. Now it's correct. All right. So that's the add function. So the same thing for edit. So edit. We need to first add edit link. It's here. It's here. Post edit and ID equal the post ID. Right. So you see, because this is why we return the object, post object instead of the raw data from database. So we can use something like this. All right. Then we add it. So we need to create this edit page. We just copy from the category edit page, okay? And post. So when you do something, don't need to know everything. You just You just learn from what existed, and then change it to omit post if post id run post id supplied and post 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 do the same thing. Post view post equal post and post edit, right? It's the same thing. And for the HTML page, so you just copy the add one, copy, paste, change to edit, and here do homepage category name edit, and we can even have the posts in here in category we don't have the category, so we just remove this one, and here the same thing, we don't need the category, but we need to have the ID, so we have the post ID and this post. So for edit, what's the difference? The only difference is that you have the value for these fields. Value echo this post title. I'll copy this, copy value, the post author, and here for the select, it's a little bit different. So it's here. If this post status equal this, then end if. Right, if you don't know this kind of conditional statement, just use it as it is, okay? Then you'll understand, you'll get it. Selected equal selected, right? Something like this. Right, copy the same thing to this option. If the equal pending and selected. Okay, that's for that's for select. And for text error, the value is here, is in this between the open and end tag. Echo. So normally you need to have a new line to BR. Oh, you don't have to. Here, just this post content. Then that's it. Run post ID supplied. Post edit. Yeah. Post. There is some error. So let's just turn on the error reporting and see what's going on. Cannot use model table post as post because the name is already in use. Category 4. Category line 4. Let's see, category line. Model category line 4. Cannot use as post because the name is already in use. What's going on? So there is kind of the still confliction for the name. So if you want, there is a hint. If you want to just disable those kind of warning, just go to this 23rd and add a at the beginning of this statement. So that will just remove those things. And here cannot use model category 4. So that's because here the post here this post is already used. So how to solve this kind of problem? So it's better to rename, to make those two different names. This post and this post, two different names. So maybe we can just rename this as a post table. And we change this to post table. And here post table, and we need to change a lot. And we just do a search. Let's do a search throughout our project. Search, 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 and we have all those search results. And model use, I just change this to table. And that's correct. And here to table. To table. To table as well. Yeah. And here we change to post table. And here post table. Alright, this should be correct. Alright, now we have everything here. So we get the data out from the database and we fill the form with the data in from the database. And now if we want to add, change something, change the content and make it to pending, and we go submit, and and now let's see what do we have. Post edit. Let's edit. It's just, yeah, nah. We still submit to the same URL to this one. Now we need just add one more column, card ID data ID, and for the category ID, now we don't have it, so we just if is that category ID, then we add the ID. Right, now see, let's do test pending code from category. Oh, let's still let's still put this category ID there. Okay, let's still put this category ID here. Let's just still put it there. Alright, still put it here. Let's still add this hidden fields there. Let's still add this hidden fields there. It's not really fun. And this post category ID. Test, pending, go. Alright. So this is another warning tool. Just need to, if you want, you can just add the and set the default time room. Set default time room to what we have. It's America, Los Angeles, how to spell this? Los Angeles. Uh-oh. Oh. Instead of edit, it's just create a new record. So this is a problem. Let's see what's going on. Alright. Post this word office. Go. There's no ID. It's post ID. So that's the problem. Just post ID. Go. Alright. Edit. Go. Alright. That's it. Now it's correct. So let's edit. And for view is quite simple. Alright, it's already over 5. So for view you can just do it by own. Okay, that's simple. And for delete, that's the same. So you can refer to the category delete function. Alright. Okay, just try to finish it. Okay, by next Monday. Alright. Okay. Okay, I'll not submit my code to GitHub. You just figure it by yourself. Figure it out by yourself. Okay.